going on? Welcome to episode 109 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, player 2, Eric. What's up, dude?
What is up, Josh? What up, NPC fam? It is your boy who's back, Hate Zero, your hero.
Does it ever get old? I just don't know if it ever gets old.
It doesn't to me. Maybe to the listeners. There are like 109 episodes of this. When is the madness gonna stop?
Never. So, that music you just heard was from On Being Human. Check them out on Spotify and YouTube. Remember, this is an unofficial Nintendo podcast, and if you would like to get yourself a free book from Audible, you can go to audibletrial.com/NPC. There you can pick up Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, Console Wars, or Super Mario. All excellent choices. The chair I'm sitting in, from OP Seat. If you go to n64josh.com/OP Seat, you will automatically save $10 on your purchase, and all chairs are $50 off right now, so don't miss the sale. That's n64josh.com/OP Seat. Now to the announcements.
Hey, listen!
We do this show live, twitch.tv/N64Josh, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sometimes Discord gets an update and then none of my audio works. So, that happened today. But we're here. I want to say hello to Kirby Geek, Mr. Cool Red Luigi, G.I. Jello, Pudding, Kazoo, Swing Shifter, Shell Shock, Baba, O'Reilly Mike. I think I hit everybody. Anybody that's just lurking, thank you for being here. We do appreciate it. All right. Let's see. The main announcement for this week is on Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be doing the first look. I will be checking out, so far anyway, a game called 20XX. All right? 20XX. So, with that, let's get into our reviews and impressions. All right, man. What have you been playing this week and whatnot?
Well, I want to circle back to your Audible.
Okay.
I listened to a book series called Ascend Online. It's kind of very similar vein as Ready Player One, augmented reality, or not even augmented, just straight up, different realms you venture into. Pretty good series. It takes you into like a medieval time with spellcasters rather than a future time. Check it out. There's 3 books in the series. The second book is not a sequel to the first book. The second book is like some weird prequel, so you can go first and third book if you want to, and you won't be ashamed of yourself. So Ascend Online. Check it out if you have some credits.
Okay. All right.
So, with that, I have been playing just 2 things. Only 2 things.
Okay.
I've been playing Aces.
Okay.
Which I'm having a blast with. I know it gets a lot of hate, but the thing about Aces is I bought it with the intention of playing it with people, just like I did previous Mario Tennis games.
Mm-hmm.
I got a buddy at work who got a Switch, and after work each day, we just play a few rounds of Aces against each other, and we have a blast, and then we go home. So
I love that. That's great.
Yeah, and in that experience, it's fantastic. He's gotten very good. We've already banned him ever using Bowser Jr. because it's just stupid. So in scenarios like that, it's a lot of fun. I can understand why it gets the hate online, but if you have people to play with, don't ignore the game because you're afraid of the online experience.
Yeah.
The next game I'm playing is a demo of a game that comes out Friday. Octopath Traveler.
Oh, all right.
I'm loving the game. I'm loving the art, the music. I'm not a huge turn-based fan. I have liked some turn-based games in the past. I'm going to love this game. It's got a fun story. I will say one complaint I have is the text is not fast enough. So you have to, hit the button. I just wish I could turn on fast text, and maybe that's in the final release. I don't know yet. And transitioning in between and out of the random encounters takes longer than I'd like. But other than that, I'm loving it.
Yeah, the little bit of time I spent with it during one of our first looks, I did really enjoy it. My problem at the time of playing it is that my coffee was not working, and I was like, I can't do this tired right now. Like I'm like my brain was slowly shutting off, So
Which character did you start with?
I believe it was the hunter. It was a female.
Yeah.
And I was totally digging the graphics, everything. Like I really liked it, and I cannot wait to jump into that world.
Well, luckily for you and everyone else on the earth, that's the only character that speaketh in the old tongues. So you don't have to worry too much about that. So, but it really didn't bother me because I just kind of when they actually voice act it, it's a little more annoying. But when you read it, my brain just skips over all the fluff because in Old English there were a lot of unnecessary words that we've now cut out.
Yeah.
And I just ignore those and get to the point.
Right. So that game launches on Friday, and Super Nintendo actually from the NES podcast posted a picture of the inside of the case, and it almost looks like each character is represented by a playing card, all laid out on the inside. There's actually artwork on the inside of that case, and it looks very, very nice. So that's pretty exciting. I didn't hear. I know Nightcrawler asked in the Discord if that was, and I didn't see if he responded or not, but asked if it was from the pop-up book, or if that was just the standard edition. So
got it.
Another interesting fact with that game. I don't know if we've talked about it on here. I may have mentioned it, but I don't know if you and I have talked about it much. No DLC. What they're shipping is what we're getting, and they're moving on.
That leads me to believe the game's gonna have fairly good depth. I want to say phenomenal depth, but we won't know for sure. I'm hoping that means the game has very good depth and the story is complete and done. So that's my hope.
Yeah, it's like we're getting a Super Nintendo game. Not only does it kind of look like one.
No. If there's a day one update, it is not a Super Nintendo game. We'll see. We'll see on that.
That's correct. The game is done, Nightcrawler says. Yeah. So, moving right along. Phil's Adventure, Philippix, is one of the games I played on First Look. Okay? Now, this game comes out on the 12th. Mind you, I thought this was a side-scroller, right? Because everybody knows how well I like pay attention and read. I just saw this company said, hey, you want to try this game? I said, sure, absolutely. I didn't even really know what it was. I just saw the name. Well, It turns out it's like Picross and Minesweeper, kind of. It's that style of game. Totally not for me, right? Like, could not be less for me.
You don't want a modern-day Minesweeper?
No, I don't. But that does not, by any means, make this a bad game. So, what do? I take the Switch, I hand it to my wife, and I say, here, look at this. What do you think of this? At that point, it was game over, baby. She was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is my kind of game. And she absolutely just loved it. She loves those. You're essentially creating pictures by either turning certain squares black or just crossing them out. And then you create, he had a really terrible camera, is what he said, when he went on these adventures. So you can uncover different pictures like the pyramids and things like that. And so, totally not my kind of game, but seeing her reaction to it and knowing that she likes that kind of game, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Like, she was like, this is great.
Wow.
This is great. So that's coming out on Thursday, or on the 12th, is that Thursday or I don't know.
I don't even know what day today is.
I think it's the 12th. So,
okay.
Miles and Kilo, guys, I really enjoyed it. I played it a few weeks back, and 9 out of 10. Like it it does what it set out to do. You know, it's a side-scrolling platformer. It has some speedrunning elements to it, and I like that there was like rhythm, and you could try to get the high scores. I really dug it. I don't know. What do you think? It looks like you gotta like maybe. You're not as into it.
I don't want to say that you're way too positive, but you are handing out like these great reviews for everything. Like, come on, where's the dirt? Give me the dirt.
Well, I mean, okay. Here's the other thing too. Here's it. Like, I'm not gonna compare Phil's like. I can't compare Phil's adventure and say, oh, if that game's an 8, then something else like.
No, right.
I'm trying to give a score for these games based strictly on what they are, and because they're all like indie titles. Like, how do you really compare it to anything? You know,
you can kind of compare them to their peer group. So I guess Phil's Adventures may be more of a puzzle game. So compare it against other puzzle games.
Yeah, and and obviously my review for that just had to be based off of watching my wife take my Switch and then be like, "You can go now. I'm having fun with this." You know, like she really liked it. So
we're done here. Okay.
But Miles and Keel, like for what it sets out to do, it does it well. Controls are tight. I love the art style. The sound was good. Like the different.
I saw them retweet someone talking about it's going to be a speedrunner's dream or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can even set it to where it auto runs for both modes. If you just want to be able to make it like an endless runner kind of thing, you can play it that way. So worth checking out. It's not going to get no more dirt, man. Pocket Rumble. 9.5 out of 10. I could not like that game much more than I do. I was so surprised at the depth. The online is amazing. Like, that's what took that game so long, from my understanding. I don't understand the technology behind it or what they had to do to get it to implement it, but what they did there, my word, it works so well. And the depth of this fighting game, like, it's like playing a Nintendo game with like some of the best controls of a fighting game. I'm like, I cannot believe what I'm experiencing here. Like there was, like I said, there was depth to it. All the characters felt different. The online was like flawless. I could send you an invite, you'd immediately get it, and we could play. I was like, is this the future?
So NPC fam, I'm going to doth proclaimeth something here. I don't know if it's going to be more shocking when Josh finishes a game or when Josh gives a game a 6 or below. Which one are we going to be more shocked about? Go ahead and tweet at us and let us know which one you'll find more shocking.
Wait a minute. You remember Heart Atlantis?
Ugh, Earth Atlantis.
Yeah, Earth Atlantis, right? Like,
ugh.
No good. No. I gave Aces a 7 out of 10, and that was being nice. That was
you're
being
right.
nice.
You're right.
So, you know,
how quickly we forget.
Yeah, there's not. I don't love everything, but I have been loving the past few. If I'm not gonna give Crash, I played it, I enjoyed it. I couldn't put enough time into it to give it like a full-on review. It felt a little like the first game. Really feels like Crash is what Temple Run was based off of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Crash games are not, well, people are going to hate me. Go ahead, at me. Do what you got to do. The Crash games are no longer fun. They're terrible games. They did not stand the test of time. I'm sorry to say it. You know, it is what it is. They were innovative platformers at the time that don't translate. There's a reason we don't get Temple Run style platformers anymore. They're just not fun.
They're made for phones.
Yeah, exactly. So I too bought Crash because I do have some nostalgia for it, but I haven't even opened it yet because I've been just Aces and Octopath. I'm hoping to play it at some point, but you know, with Octopath coming Friday and Bomb Chicken coming Thursday, we'll see.
Yeah, from everything I hear from other shows, like it seems like the third game in the Crash collection is the one to play. Like that's the one that everybody seems to be fairly positive about. So, okay, well that was our reviews impressions. Let's get to the news. All right. This is exciting. This is exciting. You're going to be excited about this. Are you ready for this?
Maybe, I don't know.
Kimishima.
What was that? I didn't catch that.
Kimishima recently
Okay.
stated
Okay.
that Nintendo still has more to announce for this year.
I believe that. I totally believe that. They I think they did just enough for E3. That's kind of the benefit of going last. You can kind of see how far do we really need to take this, and they did just enough to have a successful E3. And if they want to hit their 20 million and keep the steam going full steam ahead, the train going rather, I think it's a no-brainer. They still have more to announce this year, and there's more information on games we already know are coming, like Yoshi, Pikmin, Metroid. There's a lot more they can tell us. So I'm glad that he announced that it's coming this year. We're talking about an announcement about a future announcement. Like that's what we're getting hyped about now. Is like they announced that they're going to be announcing stuff. And we're like, yeah. I love Nintendo.
Well, there's a little more to this that's going to be exciting for you. So I wrote an article on n64josh.com when this news broke. And then I went into what I would like to see these announcements be, and I leaned towards seeing some kind of a 2D or possibly 3D world Mario, right? All the ports that were on the Wii U. I talked about this on the Nintendo Shack too, so those of you guys that were there with me, you guys have heard me mention this. But basically, I would love to see either 3D World make its way over, right? Because it's an excellent game that not a lot of people got to experience. Very fun, 4-player. But the new Super Mario Bros. Series, right? I have two different things I would love to see. Either one, see it come out as the Wii U version, the Super Luigi U version, but have a Peach edition added to it, and then put her into the other games so we can play with the original cast from Super Mario Bros. 2 all together with her floaty jump. Or a new Super Mario Bros. All-Stars, where we see all the games in the series on the Switch. That's what I would really like to see. And then the other thing I mentioned in the article, of course, was Mario Maker Deluxe, and maybe we see levels from Super Mario 2, the ability to slide down hills, things like that were missing from, or create hills or whatever, things that were missing from the last installment.
Yeah.
Tweeted that article out, and a guy that goes by Dr. Cupcakes, I believe, who his Twitter bio says something about like gaming insider for gaming historian, maybe I can't remember all the credentials, but tweeted at somebody who retweeted my article, one of them right. That's all it said. One of them right.
One of them right.
So
well, what's not right about that is the English used to make that tweet. But we'll let that slide because most leaks come with poor English anyways, right?
Right.
One of them right. I think, unfortunately, although I've been pushing for Mario Maker coming to the Switch since the Switch was announced, I'm really thinking it's probably a new Super Mario Bros. Ultimate or Complete or Legacy Edition, something along that line. Because it seems to be that we get a lot of, I guess the Mario Maker's a Wii U port too, so I don't know. I'm guessing it's going to be the first one I announced because the second will require some sort of work because it's the touchscreen.
I feel like when they do Mario Maker, it's going to be more of an event. It's going to be more like it's going to be Mario Maker 2 possibly.
Rather than a port.
It'll still be right. It's still going to ultimately be like a lot of the base game, but with stuff added to it. So I'm really leaning towards either 3D World or you. Do you think they would do All-Stars? Do you think we could see something like that again?
It's Nintendo. I think we absolutely could see something like that again. But I don't know, because the way they did All Stars, it was all with the upgraded engines, right? So it wasn't the original games.
Right.
People didn't love that. Would they do the same thing, or would it just be a bundled pack of all the games as they were?
Yeah, it's a hard question. But I mean, the very first one on DS is a very fun game. The second DS one on 3DS, not quite as good, but I mean, if you like collecting coins, that's your game. Like that is your game. It's all about it. So, and of course, the one on the Wii U and on the Wii were both great games as well. So, I just don't know that they would give out that much. You know what I'm saying? Like I hope they would. I hope that they would do something like that, but I'm just not sure that we would see that. If we would see anything more than just a Super Mario U Deluxe that comes with, Super Luigi U or whatever also, or Luigi U or whatever they call it. I can't remember, but yeah, the more the merrier as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, interesting. We'll have to wait and see if this guy that tweeted at me knows what he's talking about. We could be seeing one of these.
I mean, how long ago was the last 2D Mario at this point? When did Mario Maker come out? 15? 14?
Yeah, I was going to say the launch of the Wii U was the new Super Mario Bros. U, and then Maker was probably 15.
Okay. So it's been a while. I mean, that's Mario's bread and butter, so I don't find it surprising that we'll get a proper Mario shortly.
Yeah. And it just the whole reason that this all gets brought up is investors and analysts are like, "Oh, Nintendo's doomed." It's like if they don't hear Link and or Zelda and Mario, that the year is shot. And Nintendo's got a massive community of people that it's a huge customer base. There's going to be people that buy the Switch for Smash and don't play anything other than Smash.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It doesn't matter how hard they market other stuff, unless they do like a Melee HD remake or something. Ultimate's going to be the only game some of those people play.
They should have changed the name to Super Mario Smash, and that would have solved the problem right there.
There you see.
The investors would have been like, "Oh, we're getting a Mario."
But Super Mario Party wasn't enough. See, that's the problem, I guess. So, anyway, I mean, the other thing we could see is some ports of Twilight Princess, the HD remake, or the Wind Waker port.
I would love it. I never played Wind Waker.
Oh, it's so great. Yeah.
I was one of the so upset that they went cell shaded that I just refused to participate.
Oh, interesting.
Because they released the demo of what the GameCube could do with that awesome Zelda and Ganon. That still never ever happened. We never got what they showed us in their tech demo, but that's what I wanted. And then I get the cell shaded cartoon Link. But I would like to go back and play it. So do it.
I was in the same boat with Wind Waker, but I quickly changed my tune and was very glad I did, because it was an amazing game. Really, really great. So the only thing I kick myself for is I don't have those original Zelda discs that came with it when I pre-ordered it. So
somehow I got those, but not Wind Waker.
Yeah, there you go.
So I was just excited. I'm like, yeah, Ocarina again.
Right.
So as everybody knows, that is my bread and butter.
Right. So the Switch is getting... I mean, look, they said, hey, there's going to be more announcements. This was on the July 3rd. And then, boom, this weekend, we get Warframe. Like a week or two ago. Shadowgun. Was it yesterday? Wasteland 2, which is looks like the original Fallout. Like the first 4 original Fallout games is what this game looks like. It's an RPG. Warframe's pretty big deal. Like, what did you think when you saw this?
I thought, man, I really didn't enjoy that game on PlayStation. Good thing it's coming over to the Switch. No. So I played it when the PS4 just came out. That was like one of the launch games. Obviously, it was free to play. I don't know if it was launch, but it was really early. It was free to play. I played it, and it just wasn't great at that point. I've heard nothing but good things. I watched a video on it today. It looks like Destiny in a lot of ways. So I will give it a shot. I have nothing to lose, so why not?
Yeah, they just introduced a bunch of stuff, like some space combat, things like that. Like their servers like just crashed because they just got way overloaded.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting facts about this game. There was a kind of a hidden gem on the 360. I thought it was kind of a hidden gem anyway, called Dark Sector. Do you remember this game at all?
It sounds familiar, but I don't think so.
So, kind of its thing, it was a third-person game. You could shoot. I think you kind of had like an armor set that could go, like you could cloak, kind of something similar to like Crysis in a way, but it was third person, and you had like a boomerang with blades on it that you could throw, and it would come back to you. And that's what the cover of the box had. You could see the guy kind of standing with his arm up holding on to the boomerang.
It was like a tri-blade. Yeah,
Yes,
I see it.
like,
I do remember this box.
yeah, like Kroll back in the 80s. If anybody's old like me, you'll remember that. So that I played all the way through that game. Really, really enjoyed it. Then found out that that game is from the same developers that do Warframe, and so there's a lot of similarities that come over. You got like some parkour and things like that, the way you can move about the levels. And from my understanding, the game's a little more about like stealth and defense than it is just about like running and gunning and that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to jump in. At least 4-player co-op, I believe. Doing different quests. There's also a PvP element to it. So, I mean, somebody was saying in the Discord today that you can see Warframe in the eShop. You just can't like download it. You can't. There's no like when it's coming. We don't know any. There's really no other details right now.
Yeah. I would have to guess it's soon-ish, whatever that means.
Yeah, and of course Panic Button, right? I mean, those guys, we know their track record so far is really good with Rocket League, Doom, and Wolfenstein. The other one that really piqued my interest was Shadowgun, which looks a lot like Destiny from Bungie. And it's 4 players. You can go do quests, you can get armor, you can upgrade your armor, you can add mods to your armor. Like this was originally on mobile. I remember seeing it and was like, I just can't do first person on my phone, right? Without having having the controller to play with. And so I'm pretty excited about this one. It looks like a decent first person shooter making its way over to the Switch. And so just kind of interesting to see some of these. I would say they're kind of bigger titles. They almost feel like bigger. I mean, obviously Shadowgun is a mobile game, but like Warframe and stuff, it seems like it has a pretty good following, like on PC and stuff, and somewhat on Xbox. But and then Wasteland 2 was just kind of out of the blue. I didn't know much about that game until this morning, so definitely stuff to look forward to. So Minecraft Aquatic Update is out, brings realms, which basically you can rent a realm, and people, so we could have like the NPC realm. People could come hang out, build stuff, have fun, that kind of thing, while you're not, usually I could start up a game and then people could join me if we were doing the NPC world or whatever. But with the realm, you can kind of just have an open space that people can come in and out of while they're playing. So and I guess this is phase 2 with Minecraft. So I'm not like a huge Minecraft fan, but I do enjoy it when I play it. So here is the topic that the Discord was like, oh, I can't wait till they talk about this one. Nintendo wants to release 20 to 30 eShop games a week with a few great releases mixed in.
What does this all mean? I guess I'll just start. So
Yeah, take it away, man.
obviously I have some gripes with a few great releases mixed in. So you're automatically saying you're releasing 20 to 30 shovelwares with maybe 3 good games in there. Like and then now they're calling a dev's game not great releases. So I assume the few great releases are their products. These are our, you know, this week there's 25 Nindies. I hate that term, but there's 25 Nindies, and also Super Mario Maker comes out. That's our few great mixed in. And as Kirby Geek just said, you could see great as being seen as bigger games. So yeah, you've got a third party game, whatever the case is. But none of this matters if they don't fix the eShop.
I mean,
you and I, we're gonna buy our games, right? We spend a lot of our free time looking into what's coming out.
Sure.
We're going to find the good games. We're not the problem.
I don't disagree with you at all. But how many times have you turned on the eShop and went, I didn't even know about this game?
Oh, most of the times.
Right? So
Yeah.
even trying to be informed, trying to help others be informed, there's still, I mean, we're talking 20 or 30 games. I mean, I don't even, like, I do the sales right now on the NPC Mini, and that takes up like a third of the show because there's so many of them.
So my coworker just bought a Switch, and he just bought a Switch less than a week ago, and he's like, "Hey, you need to pick up this game." And I'm like thinking, this dude, how cute. Like, he's coming in here, had his Switch for 4 minutes, thinks he can tell me. He's like, Mushroom Wars 2. I'm like, I don't know what this is. What is this game? And he shows it to me. I'm like, oh, that's a cool little game. I've never heard of it. How is this possible? How is this possible?
Yeah, I think I've only heard of it because it was on sale already. That's probably it.
I don't know how long it's been out, honestly. It could have been out there for months. Who knows?
Right. So that is something that's going to have to be addressed. 20 to 30 games is a lot. And kind of, so first off, Nintendo makes money this way, right? Because they get a piece of every game that comes out. Is it more profitable for them to do this, just throw a whole bunch of stuff out, become the App Store, become Steam, or is it more profitable for them to do things like promote Pocket Rumble, Rocket League, do these Nindy showcases, but maybe do them more often and get more information to the consumer versus just, hey, here's 30 games, have fun sifting through them. And
I have 2 answers.
Okay.
First, there's a reason Valve hasn't made Left 4 Dead anymore.
Don't say that, man.
And second, I think they need to do both. So they need to promote heavily the showcase on the real gem indies. Like, I wouldn't have known about Celeste, which is still my game of the year to this day. Had it not been for the indie showcase, I wouldn't have known about Floor Kids, which is one of my favorites, and allowed me to help them pitch that game and got to meet the DJ Kid Koala. I wouldn't have known about some of these things if it weren't for the showcase. So I think it's essential they do that. Bomb Chicken, another prime example. That would have got released. If I had not paid attention, I would have said, this doesn't look like a fun game, I'm not buying it. Just on the name alone, like Bomb Chicken, who cares? So I think they absolutely need to continue pitching it, but they're going to make money just like Steam is now. I mean, you put 1,000 games on there, no one's going to buy them all, but you might buy 2 instead of 1 now.
Yeah, and then are we going to start seeing bundles and things like that? Different sales. I mean, the potential is there. Where my biggest concern is for the devs that are putting blood, sweat, and tears into these games, and even having some contact with devs that are like, hey, this is coming, can you help me promote this? Like, having them come back, it's like, I don't feel like they're... I don't know. It's hard because like Nintendo has the news section, right? But
Yeah.
if anybody created multiple accounts, you can't from different regions, you don't even know what's going on, right? That it's just all convoluted, and some of it's in different languages, and sometimes you're seeing 3 of the same thing. There's no way to easily get through the shop to find some of these games. There's no rating system, to
Right.
like.
There was for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think some, they saw a lot of people doing 1 stars or saying something. I don't know what got it shut down so quickly, but
It was probably because some mobile game was getting great reviews before the game ever came out. It's like, what is this? How is this a 5-star game? It doesn't come out for a month. Like, get out of here.
right.
But yeah,
So,
I totally agree. There needs to be an indie section if they're going to continue down this path. There needs to be a showcase. These are our top indies we recommend for the week or day. Give me a reason to sign into the eShop daily. Something they really need to revamp it, because as just a flat, here's a giant repository of games, no real sorting abilities. The search isn't reliable. You can search for a game that is in the eShop, and if you're not exact with your search, you won't get the results you're looking for. So,
and here's something that looks relatively new. I'm on Nintendo's YouTube page right now. Okay. And I don't see another one of these. This may be something new they're starting. And again, I'm going to do my best to make sure that we cover this in the podcast and on my website and everything. But their YouTube channel is a constant flow of new games and highlighting some games. And even a week ago, they have it's under 4 minutes. It's just a little video. It's called The Download, and it's kind of highlighting some stuff in the eShop. But that should be on the new. If that's not on the news feed, it definitely needs to be there. And maybe it was. I'm not going to say that it wasn't.
Well, the frequency has to be more frequent, and they also have to change. If they're going to do 20 or 30 a week, it can't be Thursdays only anymore. They've got to go away from that. It's just not going to work. If you give me monthly updates, how often is the download?
This came out a week ago, and it was for June.
So you give me a monthly roll-up of 120 games? Like, get real.
In 3 minutes, mind you. 3 minutes and 25 seconds.
Yeah, it's just going to be you micro-machining me a list of games, which could be entertaining, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I just...
Tune in Thursday.
Yeah.
So, there's just... I would say this is a great problem for Nintendo to have, that there's so many games coming to their system, and they're very positive about indies. They view indies as a pillar in their business model. But man, this could go south really quick. And once the devs stop making money on there because they can't even be seen, you're only going to see just garbage titles get up there. And it doesn't seem like they're very, because the Switch is so mobile friendly, it opens up the door. I want to say there's the chance for it even to be worse than Steam at some point, because, some mobile games are just really, really bad.
Well, and another part of the problem is the reviews, like you said. I think they need to go through verified purchase reviews only. They need to come from an account that actually purchased it. And because most of these indies do not get a review from a review site that, whatever review site you like on Earth, IGN, GameSpot, whatever the case is, they don't have enough resources to capture every indie. They'll capture maybe the biggest ones. So you have to gamble on a lot of these. Like, even yourself and myself, we might play different games. We still don't have enough time to review most of these. So having some sort of verified review so it can't be spammed by ridiculous internet is the only way people are going to be able to handle that. Then you can sort by highest rated, most downloads. You know, they need better sorting options. By indie, then subsort by highest rated. You know,
Right now, it is game launches. What, it has a week, maybe two.
Mhm.
If it does really well, then it also hits the top, I think 30 now that we're sitting at.
yeah.
And then shortly after, I got to immediately throw my game on sale, so at least it will show up back on the front page and not just be completely buried in everything that's there. Like, everything that's there. It's... They've got to do something. And I mean, I think the online service is going to bring about something. We're supposed to get more info about that before September. I mean, fingers crossed. If they want to release this kind of game, this many games, they owe it to the devs to give them a better opportunity for their games to be seen.
Are they? Because not all of the games on there are Nindies. All these Neo Geo titles that are just cluttering up my view. Like, put those in their own place. I don't want to see them. I'm not going to buy them. Stop making me look at it. So, you know, because there's maybe 4 titles on the Neo Geo that anyone ever cared about. The rest, who cares? So put those in their own place. A lot of these 20 or 30, are they all Nindies, or are they just...
Well, I feel like Nindies is like set apart for the ones that are showcased, right? Like that title goes to, that's just my opinion on it, is like Floor Kids was a Nindy, Pocket Rumble was a Nindy, right? Even Rocket League, I think might have been a Nindy, but I don't remember, you know.
So they need to sort those out by Nindies, you know, officially Nintendo. Bring back the darned seal of approval, you know, the official Nintendo seal. Make a section for that, because some of these cell phone games, I'm not saying they won't even be fun and shouldn't exist on the system, but they should be sorted outside of the rest of the game, so people who are looking for them can find them, but I don't have to see them because I'm not really interested.
And yeah, the other thing is, like, I feel like some of these just like mobile games are kind of just like an afterthought, like, oh hey, we can throw this in one more place, you know, versus like, are people really like, do I want that cluttering up the recent released, you know, when they're like missing games? Like, for instance, this 20XX that I'm playing on Friday, I played it for about 5 minutes before this show started, just so I could talk about it briefly. This is like, it's like a Mega Man, it looks like Mega Man X, and it's a roguelike. And other than it's just not an art style that I love, because I would prefer to see like actual sprites and pixel graphics, this is more of the more of just kind of the modern look, I guess, is the best way to put it. Other than that, so far, it grabbed me in the first 5 minutes. Well, I don't remember seeing much from Nintendo on this. If I did, it was overshadowed by other things. So, we're just gonna have to make sure we can do what we can to
keep the masses informed.
Yeah, keep the masses informed. That's right.
I think the eShop obviously needs. I want all the games coming to the Switch. I've said it countless times, and I still want it to be true. Even if it's a game I don't like and I think is garbage, I want it on the Switch because it might be for somebody. I really think they should look at Microsoft Store, because the Xbox Store can still be improved upon, but it's usable. You can find what you're looking for. It's totally manageable. You know, something like that would be preferable to what they have now.
Yeah, it's got to improve. There's no way around it. So, let's get to our next talking point.
Here we go!
All right, Mario Tennis is up for our talking point. Okay, so I gave the game 7 out of 10, right? Because to me, the game was lacking some key elements. There was an article on Nintendo Life that has some people calling Nintendo and calling Camelot out and saying there's just laziness in this game. There's, you know, during some of the cutscenes, there's no gems coming out of the chest, things like that. They're calling out some of that stuff. No power gem animations. I mean, that's not a huge deal for me, but why can't 16 of us get in and have a tournament? If they have a tournament mode already set up, why can't we do 4-man tournament, 8-man tournament, 16-man tournament? Like, this should be built in already, right? And then the other options that were in the other games, like maybe I want to play more sets, maybe I want to play less sets, not just long play, short play. You know what I mean? Like, why are we missing some of this stuff? And we've had extensive discussions in the Discord. G.I. Jello talks about, like, he feels that this game was rushed and not ready to be shipped yet. Now, we look at it from different perspectives. Like, all of the trick shots kind of frustrate him, but he doesn't want to just play simple mode. So I get that. It's not, it's just not really what he was wanting. Another aspect of it is like, hey, people are gonna get good. This game has a skill gap, so if you want to be competitive, you're gonna have to put the time in to play it. You do have some characters that some people are saying they are broken. Bowser Jr. You already said it, even in your local games. Users banned, right? They aren't allowed to use him.
He can't miss. His arms are like 4,000 feet long.
So I feel like this game is super fun. There's tons of fun to be had, but there's things lacking that are. I've streamed this game a handful of times. I was like, we are going to play tournaments. We talked about it like that extensively. We have to set everything up ourselves. It's like, it's weird to see. I feel like this game has kind of like was at it like it. There's a lot of hype. And it died very, very quickly. Much faster than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
So I didn't even notice there weren't power gem animations. Like, some people are just reaching for stuff. Like, who cares? I didn't even know that until I saw that article. So, I think the game's fun. I still think the game's a red shell. I don't think it's perfect. There needs to be improvements. I'm still not 100% sure what gets you... what takes away your special meter, power, whatever, and what actually gets it for you, because if you successfully pull off a trick shot, you could theoretically spam the trick shot with every hit you do.
Mm-hmm. That's what's happening online. There's people that do that.
Yeah, so they need to, and they still have the capability to nerf that in a patch, to where the trick shot has a use of, so right now I think it's, if you miss with the trick shot, it uses your special.
If you do it late, it will use your special. If you time it perfectly, you'll gain special from it.
Yeah, they need to change that to where if you do it late, you lose a good chunk, and if you do it perfectly, you barely lose anything, or something has to give, because when you're playing against a Bowser Jr., he's just trick-shotting every single hit, and there's not much you can do. The other thing I don't understand, maybe you can help me learn, when does a darned star show up on the map?
So, I'm going to explain this the best way I understand. There's probably better explanations out there. But, when you get a fully charged shot, mm-hmm. and the way the ball sounds and the way that's usually going to, it's almost like you're controlling the rally at that point, and that's when the stars will continue to show up. You can continue to use your charge shots, and so it's returning with the right, like if they're hitting the flat, you're hitting the flat. If they're hitting the slice, you're hitting the top spin, that kind of thing, right?
Right.
And it's the other aspect of that is being in position to get that charge shot going, because when you're rushing and then barely hitting it, you're hitting it weak, and sometimes
Right.
your character will spin, you'll get sent back, you can hear, like, you'll get a vibration. And so it's being in the being in position, being able to charge your shot, and this is my assumption, it's that you were able to hit a better charge shot than they were to you.
Yeah, because I tested it with my coworker where we both stood in one place and hit back and forth to each other and charged the entire shot. Like no, there was no rhyme or reason to who was getting the star.
Neither
Like,
of you were getting it, or were you both getting it?
We were both getting it inconsistently. So when you would think you were supposed to get it, it wouldn't show up for you. So it seemed very sporadic, but then that's fine. Like, again, I can still have fun with the game, playing locally. I can see why online would be frustrating. I would love to be able to get a tournament, and sadly we would have to create it ourselves because, like you said, they didn't include a friend or local tournament play, which is upsetting. That was something we were all really hyped about and kind of assumed, since tournaments were in the game, that we'd be able to set up our own, which didn't turn out to be true. So
Yeah, and look, the thing is, like, even chat's mentioning, like, I believe tournament, like, this is from Tadawaka, says, I believe tournaments in simple mode may be more enjoyable and less broken than the standard mode or meter and zone, right? But the biggest complaints with the tennis games over the past few systems has been that they've been too basic. There has not been enough innovation. So they innovated, adding these trick shots, adding, the charge shots, all this stuff, which I think are great additions. I think they're great. They need balancing, right? And it's one of those things that, hey, they're gonna try it. They're gonna, throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. They're getting the data. They're seeing what's happening. And if they're going to support this game like they do ARMS and Splatoon and the little bit that they've done with Mario Kart 8, there's going to be patches. There's going to be updates for it. I don't doubt that. So what's strange is, on one hand, I can look at this game and say there's so much content here. And in the other hand, I can say, why is this game missing so much content? That's really what it feels like. I'm like, there's so much fun to be had, but a few key elements are missing to bridge that gap. It's just it is strange. It is very, very strange. So
yeah, I totally understand that. I personally really enjoy the game. It is not without flaws. I think it's probably 2 or 3 patches from being a really great game. Right now, it's just a pretty darn fun game in the right settings.
Okay. Why not give us a longer beta earlier on? To, like, figure some of this stuff out. Like, I know they did the network testing stuff. That's basically what that tournament mode was. But I don't know. I just feel like there's maybe a few steps that need to be taken with some of these games. And Van said it. Van Sakura said, I feel the issue is Nintendo doesn't really make competitive games. Tennis is a competitive game. Opposites don't always attract. Right? And I mean, look, they've been making great tennis games for quite some time, but trying to make a game that is, more for the competitive scene, it's going to take some work. There's no doubt about that. It's going to take some work. I mean, look at Smash Bros. It gets patched. I mean, look at Street Fighter. Look at other games that are competitive games like that, like, Madden. All these sports games, fighting games. They all get patched. They gather the data, they figure out what the game needs, and they patch it. So
I hope that's coming. I really do like the game and hope I can play it for a long time. So
I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. And I guess we're going to be able to play fairly soon, right?
Yeah.
All right. I like hearing that. Well,
yeah, we will.
I think this has been our show, man. I think
That's it.
I think that's it. Here's the end, right? All right, man. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
You will find me on Twitter at hate0, 0 with an X. You will find me in our Discord. Go to n64josh.com/Discord. Check it out. It's a large community. You can find all sorts of people to play all sorts of games, or just talk to. So if you want to interact with us, especially, the quickest way to accomplish that's probably going to be through the Discord. So, yeah.
And usually early in the morning. Usually.
It seems to work out best when I'm drinking coffee and not at work yet.
Yeah. Exactly. Guys, you can follow me on Twitter at N64Josh. You can follow the show at NPowercast. The show notes for this episode will be found at n64josh.com/NPC. Guys, I've been having a blast writing. I've been putting a ton of stuff on n64josh.com. Everything from news, reviews. I recently stumbled upon some old videos with Robin Williams and his daughter, and I wrote up a post about that, and I there's a lot of stuff on there. So go check it out. Let me know what you think. I'd love some feedback. If you want to email the show, you got a question, comment, concern, npc@n64josh.com. Remember, audibletrial.com/NPC gets you a free audiobook of your choice. n64josh.com/OPSeat gets you $10 off of a gaming chair. All chairs are $50 off right now, and all tables are $100 off. And if you are a content creator, whether you're a podcaster, streamer, YouTuber, and you're looking for a sponsor, go to n64josh.com/OPSeat. Let them know I sent you, and go down to the affiliate section. There you can sign up if you want to be sponsored by them as well. I do have a Patreon. Go to patreon.com/n64josh. For just $1, you get yourself an extra podcast. $5 gets you an extra video podcast. And there are other tiers available as well. Patreon.com/n64josh. Of course, we have some merch. n64josh.com/store if you want to check it out. And lastly, if you wouldn't mind taking a second to rate and review on iTunes, we'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you again for listening. If you're here with us live, thank you for being here. We appreciate you guys. Mr. Cool, Red Luigi, Cut Eye, Tadawaka, Vantakuru, Kirby Geek, Shell Shock Prime, anybody else that's still just lurking, Pudding. Guys, thank you for being here, and we will see you in the next episode.